I can I consider all of you guys family. Anyone that is an Arbonne sister or brother, your family. So my name is Heidi Appling. I started my Arbonne business in 2010. So I've been at this for over a decade, and it's been a great asset for me and my family. I'm actually a pharmacist. I've been a pharmacist for 31 years, but Arbonne allowed me to get out of that very stressful job and get home. I'm also a breast cancer survivor, which that really catapulted me into looking more into holistic living, even beyond what I was already learning with Arbonne. And through my cancer journey, I decided to go get my integrative nutrition health coach certification. And so I currently do that part-time at a functional medicine doctor's office. I get to help people every day understand how their body works and make good choices and build healthy habits. And so tonight, what I wanted to do, I had shared with Carlita even before, or it was like October, November, and then again at our retreat a couple of weeks ago, that I was just really wanting to share this training with everybody, Arbonne. Hopefully it can help you in your business. You know, we've all had one of these two scenarios in our business. Okay. Number one scenario is that we've started clients on the 30-day program and expected, to see them lose weight. We didn't promise that, but they expect to lose weight. Anybody that is going to make hard choices and take things like gluten and sugar and dairy out of their diet, they're going to expect their sacrifices to lead to something good, right? And unfortunately, unhealthy choices give instant gratification, and healthy choices take a little bit longer. But if you've had clients that you started on a healthy living program and they didn't lose any weight, or they didn't lose all the weight they wanted, this is for that situation. But then also the second situation or scenario, we've all tried ourselves for years, maybe to lose weight, maybe lose a lot of weight, maybe lose the last 5 pounds, the last 10 pounds, and it hasn't always been as successful as we want. Okay, so we know that as Arbonne consultants, we want to identify ourselves as healthy people who help other people with their health. And so that's my goal tonight, is that this training can help you do that. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you and give you a view of what we're talking about. All right, so somebody let me know if you can't see this. I'm going to go ahead, like everyone can see it. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about fuel. And one of the greatest things that Arbonne does is help people put good fuel in your body. If I go to the gas station, I have choices of what kind of fuel I put in my car. I can put diesel in my car, and if I do that, it's going to end up at the car doctor very, very quickly. I can put ethanol, no ethanol, right? And then after that, I can choose the grade. I can choose 87, 89, 91, 92. Even if I don't know what those are, I have choices for what kind of fuel. What's the best fuel for my car? Guys, our bodies are the same way. We have to decide what the best fuel is for our bodies. And so our bodies are designed to use these 3 things as fuel. These are what we call the macronutrients. So if you've ever heard anyone say macronutrients and you didn't know what that was, that's what we're referring to, because your body has a fat burning engine that can turn fat calories into energy. Your body has a carbohydrate burning engine that can turn carb calories into energy. And your body has a protein burning engine that can turn protein calories into energy. Now, we get to choose which one of the fuels that we put into our bodies. And I put a few examples. Obviously, there are hundreds in each of these categories. Proteins are like our meats: chicken, turkey, salmon, fish, eggs. Some of the dairies like yogurt and cottage cheese. Anything on here, this slide happens to say whey protein, but we know whey protein's not good, but any protein powder or protein bar or anything like that is going to land in the protein category. And then you've got fats, and the word fats has gotten a negative connotation for decades and decades, and it's really sad because there are healthy fats that are amazing fuel for your body. I tried to put 10 on here, like almonds, coconuts, avocados, flax seeds, chia seeds, pecans, olive oils, all the nut butters, right? A lot of fish, and many, many hundreds of other other foods that have healthy fats in them, but these are some of the ones that major on healthy fats. And then carbohydrates. Okay. A lot of people think carbohydrates are cookies and cakes and breads, and that's not true. As you can see here, I actually tried to pick 10 carbohydrates that are actually sound really healthy: sweet potatoes, brown rice, rolled oats, beans, quinoa, apples, berries, buckwheat, whole grain tortillas, whole grain breads. So these are things that you could say, I'm eating whole foods, I'm eating plant-based foods. And yes, that is a piece of the puzzle, but you're going to be probably eating a lot of carbohydrates if you're eating plant-based foods. So let's look at which one of these fuels is best for your body. Okay. Now, before we start, we have to simplify what we're talking about when we talk about carbohydrates. Is it a simple carb or a complex carb? So when you look at your bags of protein, or you look at any nutritional values, you're going to see that it's going to have a carb number. And then underneath that, it's going to have a fiber number. And you get to subtract the fiber number from the carb number to get your net carbs. And that's what we count. Fiber keeps it from spiking that glucose and that blood sugar. And so it counts. And so we get that bottom number, or the net carb number. That's what we're going to be looking at. Okay, so when carbs are consumed, let's say you're having to eat out and you're in a hurry and you're like, oh, I know I'm not going to eat at McDonald's because that's terrible. I think I'm going to eat at Subway, because Subway is plant-based, it's veggies, it's not fried, it's got to be better, right? Well, if you get a 6-inch sub with lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions, black olives, peppers, dressing, that's all carbs. Okay. And yes, it does have a little bit of meat and protein, but especially if you get the baked chips that go with it that sound like they're really healthier for you, that's a high carb meal. And so most people, if you're not paying attention to your macronutrients, you're probably eating a lot more carbs than you think. If you're a vegetarian, if you're vegan, even if you're doing our 30-day healthy living, you can still accumulate a lot of carbs just by eating clean. So when carbs are consumed, what makes them so much different than proteins or healthy fats? Well, carbs are converted into glucose, and that's the fast energy that your body loves. It's your go-to energy. Anytime your body feels like I need some energy and needs some fuel, it acts like it wants carbs. But this glucose is not into your cells at the beginning, it's in the bloodstream. So glucose is released in the bloodstream, and that's potential energy, but you're not feeling it. Okay. You're not feeling the energy because the glucose is in your bloodstream and it's spiking your blood sugar, and that signals your pancreas to release insulin. Insulin is like the little key that opens all the doors to the cells. Every cell in your body that needs fuel, it opens the cells, and now the glucose goes out of your bloodstream and into the cells. And now I feel energy. Now I feel like, ooh, I'm getting the energy from my food. Okay. Insulin appears to be our friend because it's helping us out, getting the potential energy in our bloodstream into our cells, reducing the blood sugar, getting it into our cells so we can utilize it. But insulin is actually not our friend, guys, because then it tells your body to continue to burn carbs at a higher rate than fat. In fact, it actually may cause you to crave carbs, and it actually may shut down your fat burning machine. And if you shut down your fat burning machine, you don't burn body fat and you don't lose weight. Okay. So eating a carbohydrate high meal all the time, or a high carbohydrate diet, locks you into this glucose insulin dependent metabolism. So you're spiking your blood sugar, that causes your body to overreact with large amounts of insulin. And then you can actually crash and bring your blood sugar down too low because of the insulin. And down there in that blue sugar crash, that's where you feel like 2 o'clock in the afternoon after you've eaten a lunch and you're like, oh, could take a nap right now. And when you feel that, it's not that your body needs chocolate or bread or carbs. Your body just needs fuel, right? So side note, if you have those sugar crashes, if you'll reach for a protein or a healthy fat, you'll get that level back up and you'll feel much better without spiking and dropping all over the place again. Now, I love this slide because it tells people how different foods affect different glucose, blood sugar levels, and energy. So if you look at the purple dots, that's when you eat carbohydrates. It's going to spike your blood sugar high, insulin's going to come into play. It's going to bring the blood sugar down. You're going to feel the energy, and then that's going to bring that down in about 2 hours. So you're getting 2 hours bang for your buck of energy when your main part of your meal is carbohydrates, or when your carbohydrates are high. But if you look at the pink line, it's flattening the curve. Like we heard a lot about that last summer, right? Let's flatten the curve. Let's stop the spiking and let's flatten the curve. So when you see that flattened curve, you're seeing healthy fat as a fuel is barely increasing your blood sugar level. You're going to need little, if any, insulin to bring that down. And then look, you're getting 6 hours of long, sustainable energy. This is the best energy to have because you're not spiking your blood sugar. You're not bringing insulin in every 2 hours, and you're going to have more energy. You're going to feel better. If you look at the green dotted line, that's protein. So protein also flattens the curve, gives you that long 6 hours sustainable energy. Yes, it does raise your blood sugar just a tiny bit more, but still you're not going to need little, if any, insulin to bring that level of blood sugar down. So just based on what I've already covered in this 5, 6, 7 minutes, hopefully you can see that we're kind of trending towards healthy fats is the best fuel for your body. Protein is the second best fuel for your body, and carbohydrates is the third best fuel for your body, right? Protein's still a great, like if protein and healthy fats switch number one, number two, that's usually okay. I've just found as a health coach, when you increase your healthy fats and make that the number one fuel in your body, that revs up your fat burning machine, and that revved up fat burning machine, when it needs energy, is going to be able to burn your body fat even better. So insulin can hinder our fat burning and weight loss. And how do we get to insulin? We have high carbs. So increasing hunger levels, decreasing energy levels, preventing your body from burning up its fat stores, and increasing fat storage. Guys, insulin can sabotage your weight loss. Insulin can sabotage your health. And I just want to stop here and say, you know, when we lead people well on the 30-day, and one of the things we always do is send them a lot of recipes, right? And I just would encourage you to be mindful to either share a little information about carbohydrates or be mindful about what recipes you share. You could say, this is a really great one. It does have higher carbs. Remember what we talked about, but it's good for a treat, right? But on a general basis, if you're adding bananas and you're adding all kinds of fruits and vegetables to these recipes, you're going to increase the carbohydrate number far, far above what this amazing product has in it, right? This product is designed to have low carbs. So it's not a sin to add fruits and vegetables to your shake, but we just need to be mindful of that, because if someone's eating 2 shakes a day, a banana has 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrates. When I coach people, I tell them to keep their net carbs 50 to 70 grams a day of net carbs, okay? Now, if I'm only allowed 50 to 70 grams, that's not keto. Keto is more like 5, 10, 15. This is the lifestyle that you can do, 50 to 70. But if 50 of those is due to 2 bananas in 2 shakes, then I'm probably not going to meet my goal, right? And so I really think this is something that we can all be mindful of. If you have these carb spikes and insulin, and carb spikes and insulin day in, day out, week in, week out, month after month, year after year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, after a while, guys, that's how you get to insulin resistance. And a lot of our clients probably have this insulin resistance going on. And when insulin is, your body is resisting insulin, that means it's not working. So let's kind of reverse and see what that looks like. If I eat my usual Subway sandwiches and my fruits and vegetables, and I'm not mindful of what my carb count is, and the insulin is released from my pancreas, it goes and tries to open the cell doors as the key, but my cells are now saying, no, we're done with insulin. We've been inundated with that for decades, and it's not going to work anymore. Well, I have a problem now, because if insulin can't get the glucose out of the bloodstream and into the cells, I don't have any energy my blood sugar is spiking higher and higher and higher. I'm constantly hungry because my body is crying out for fuel. It doesn't understand what's going on. And, it's like giving me hunger pains. And I'm thinking, I just ate 2 hours ago. I don't understand why I'm hungry. These are the people that they eat like a bird, they exercise like a beast, and they may eat plant-based meals, whole plant-based meals, and they cannot lose a pound. Okay, so a lot of that has to do with insulin. Once you start having this happening, you get this upper abdominal obesity, increased fat storage, and that's when other bad things start happening with your lab work, cholesterol and thyroid and hormones and all those things. Good news is, how do we remedy this? If we know someone has insulin resistance based on the symptoms they have, or there is a blood test that can be done. A lot of doctors don't do it, but there is one that can, test you out there to see if you have the markers for insulin resistance. And if we see that, we want to change your fuel. So if you meet some of these symptoms and you think maybe I'm insulin resistant, we just want to change your fuel. If we're using healthy fats and proteins as your main fuel sources, those don't require a lot of insulin, right? And so with those fuel sources, you're going to have the energy you need. You're going to feel full, and you're going to be able to get your fat burning engine revved up again so that it can burn your fat, which is how we lose weight. So if we think about the three energy nutrients, we have carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And you might be saying, what about calories, Heidi? Don't they matter? Yes, they are a piece of the puzzle too. So I've already mentioned three or four puzzle pieces. You've got the macros, which is carbs, proteins, and healthy fats. And I also mentioned clean plant-based food. You mean, Heidi, that's not even worth it? Yes, it is, right? Clean plant-based food is always better than processed food. And if you have a lot of toxic overload, yes, you can lose some weight from doing our 30-day healthy living and not controlling your carbs, and all of your body systems are going to feel better with plant-based food, right? However, you can eat a complete diet of plant-based food and never lose a pound if your carbohydrates are skyrocketing. So what about calories as a piece of the puzzle? So calories have a bad connotation in our minds. We think more calories is bad and less calories is better. But if I have two entrees, I'm looking on a menu, and this one says it's 500 calories and this one says it's 800 calories. And I might be thinking, I'm watching my weight, I better pick the 500 calorie one. But what if this 500 entree is 500 calories of carbs? Let's say it's a veggie mix stir with a piece of bread. And the 800 calories are 800 calories of proteins and healthy fats. Maybe it's grilled chicken with avocado on it, right? And so these 800 calories of proteins and healthy fats is much better than this 500 calories of the veggies and the piece of bread. So calories are a piece of the puzzle, but they're not created equal. You have carb calories, protein calories, and healthy fat calories, right? And so we want to put the right calories in. We also have to keep in mind the number of calories. So one of the things that I tell people is your body is like a choo-choo train, and it is going down the tracks. And remember the old trains where you had to put coal into the train to keep it going? It has to have so much coal for the trip, right? So there's something called the basal metabolic rate, and you can Google this and get an equation and plug your things in and get a good idea. There are machines at some at some gyms you can get on there. It'll tell you a better basal metabolic rate, but your basal metabolic rate is the number of calories your body needs to stay alive. If you did pretty much nothing all day but sit at your computer and work, you didn't exercise, you didn't move around much, your body still needs this many calories for your heart to work, your brain to work, your kidneys, liver, for you to just function, right? So let's say that you figure out your basal metabolic rate is 1,800 calories, okay? And that's pretty high. Most people, especially women, is less than that. But if you figure, let's say you figure it's 1,800 calories. So I say Heidi's basal metabolic rate is 1,800 calories. Now, if I am logging my food and my macros all in an app, which is the number one healthy habit that I would recommend that you do. If someone said, as a health coach, what's one habit you could teach the world that would help them be healthy? It's logging your food in an app. So let's say I log 2,000 calories today. My body says, well, Heidi, we only need 1,800 today because you didn't exercise or do much. These are 200 extra calories. You know what? We'll store them for you, right? We'll store them in a fat cell for you. And that's what your body does. If I store 200 extra today and it stores 100 tomorrow, 300 the next day, 400 the next day, 200 the next day, because all of these overages on calories, when all of those overages reach 3,500, I gain a pound. That's how we gain weight. It's also how we lose weight, okay? So if my basal metabolic rate is 1,800, and I'm logging my food and I put 1,600 in. Plus I exercise and I burn 300 calories. So now I'm 500 less than my body has said it needs. And at the end of the day, my body says, Heidi, we need 500 calories. Where are we going to get 500 calories? Well, if and only if I've been giving my body healthy fats as energy, the fat burning engine is revved up and ready to go, and it is good at burning healthy fats for energy. And if, and only if, I'm keeping my carbs low enough so that insulin is not turning off my fat burning machine and sabotaging me, if those two things hold true, then my fat burning engine will say, there's 500 calories on Heidi's belly. We'll burn that today for the energy we need. And if it burns 500 extra today and 400 tomorrow and 300 the next day, when those add up to 3,500, we lose a pound. Okay. So that's another piece of the puzzle that we have to consider. Now, when I talk to people, I usually use this Get Lean. I switch the fats and proteins back and forth depending on needs. I usually recommend that your healthy fats lead the way with 40 to 50% of your fuel. And then your proteins are second with 30 to 40%, and your carbs are 10 to 20%. So when you use an app, there are several apps that will tell you the percentage, and you want it to read like this. Hey, my number one fuel source today was healthy fats at 45%. My second fuel source was protein for my body at 35% or 40%. And my third fuel source was carbohydrates at 10 or 15%, right? You can also log your exercise and your water and all of these things in an app, and you'll be surprised at how many carbs you're eating when you're not logging your food. A couple of apps, there are several out there that I've had my clients use. Fitbit has a great one. You can log your food in and exercise and water. Chronometer. There's one called Stupid Simple Macro Tracker. There's also MyFitnessPal. A lot of people use that one. So there are a lot of apps out there that you can use. So keep track of all your macros, keep track of your calories, especially if you're trying to lose weight. Apply this for your clients, guys, and be aware of the fact that, the things that are in this, it's really best if you just use this with water or almond milk or coconut milk or cashew milk or whatever your thing is. Yes, we can make them taste amazing by adding some of these things for our recipes. But it's so good by itself. Last thing I want to tell you is this is such an underrated product. This is our protein boost. Guys, guess how many carbs this has? 0. It has 0 carbs, and it doesn't have any taste. You can add it to anything. So if you are watching your carbs, even with the shake, I encourage sometimes people to do 1 scoop of the protein powder and 1 scoop of this. So you still get your protein and it still tastes yummy, but you're halving your calories or your carbs in that too. And it tastes really great either way, of course. So if you're just doing 2 scoops of our protein powder, each scoop is going to have 7 grams of carbs. That's very, very low. So if you're doing 2 scoops, you're going to get 14. Again, I recommend you try to keep your net carbs at 50 to 70 total net carbs at 50 to 70 grams a day. That keeps you out of the insulin cascade. and that helps you have that longer sustainable energy, and it will help your fat burning engine get revved up, see your fat, and be excited about helping you get rid of some of that, right? Guys, there are so many pieces to the puzzle for our health, like clean food, clean plant-based food, calories matter, macros matter, sleep matters, water matters, de-stressing our lives matters, exercise matters. It all matters, right? So I hope this has helped you identify yourself as a healthy person, and also serve you well in your business for helping your clients, especially those who also want to lose some weight.
Thank you, Heidi. That was
All
awesome.
right, Carlita, are you taking over?
Yeah, I can close this out, but thank you. That was so helpful. And you guys, what I love about Arbonne is that it is a bridge for you to be able to take everything that you need for your body and make it work. And this information is going to help you as a client. It will also help us as consultants know how to help our clients hit your health goal, because healthy living is a lifestyle and everybody has different needs. And that's really what this is all about and what we're going to focus on all month. And how does living healthy with Arbonne apply to your specific health needs? And so if you have questions or need help, ask your upline and they can get access to this video, or they can get access to somebody who can help them help you, because Arbonne is full of a community of healthy living people that have the knowledge and the experience to help you achieve goals and help you help your teams and clients achieve their health goals no matter what. So, and Arbonne has everything we need from the inside out. So thank you guys so much, Heidi. That was amazing and very insightful. Appreciate you so much. Have a good night, everyone.